Hello, how are you, dear ones? Hope you're doing fine. I welcome you so much to my channel. My name is Lydia. Hope you stay blessed. You can subscribe and help me grow the channel, and may the grace of God be upon you. So, a lot has been going on in our country, and I know in most countries these things are happening, and people are suffering in silence. And that's why I've been thinking on exposing one particular Nigerian preacher here in Kenya. But let me not go there now. But as time goes, if the government is not doing anything, I'm going to expose him terribly. Because apparently the government is investigating what is already evident. Is even being investigated with the DCI, and it is very tricky, and he knows how to take himself out because he's running a cult like church and really frustrating people, especially financially. They are not given time with their families. The guys, they are always doing church things. Sometimes they even come from church at 12, and it's not a kesha. You can imagine is oppressing people financially, and right now is the one really talking so much about cult and what the government should do. Is telling the government how it should relate the church, and how people are not supposed to be, the church should not collect tithe, which is, me, I don't see anything wrong because it's in the Bible. And that's how the men of God survive. And also, we are supposed to tithe according to the Bible. But him, because he's collected so much, now he doesn't want. Is really, this man has been really fighting the church so hard. But okay, let me not go there today. I just want to the Shakaola things. It has really, because I was to to point out these signs of a false church, that we're in a false church. But somehow I didn't want, I don't know. I was recording, there is a time I recorded a almost 20-minute video and I deleted it because I mentioned that man. My aim is not to shame him, but my aim is to free the people that are being manipulated, brainwashed, and they think they're in a good church, but it's not a good church. No man should have any say over your life, over your family, over your marriage, on who to marry, when to marry, not to marry. No man should do that. God has already set us free. Yeah. So with these few remarks, okay, let me just point out a few things that I've come to notice about false churches. Number one, they isolate you. They isolate you from your family. They'll tell you that the church is the first thing. This man usually tell people that. They tell you that your church is your family. When you die, you don't need any other member of your family, even your children. You can leave your wife, you can leave your children. That's a lie. It's God who created the family, and there is no way God will want a family to be divided. Yeah. So when you see a man of God is isolating you from your family, from your friend, from your loved one, because this man usually tell people, you can leave your family, it's your church. When you see a man really pushing his church more to look more important than your loved one, that's a false church. Number one, it's a false church. Just get out. Yeah. Another thing, they tell you that their church is the only true church. There is no one true church. God has called so many people to his service. We have, okay, there are some few characters that are doing their own things, like this pastor that I'm talking about, but it doesn't mean all. But he may portray that all pastors are wrong, is the only one with the right doctrine, is the only one with the right message to take you to heaven. That's a lie. Yeah. The Bible tells us they have crept in and aware. The devil is very tricky. He's not using people from outside, but people right in the church. So watch out for that sign. Another thing is manipulation. They really manipulate you. They tell you if you leave their church, something bad will happen to you. If you dedicate so much time to your family, they make you feel like they manipulate you to make you feel like you are a sinner and you are going to hell. If God gave you a family, if God, the first thing after God finished creating is a family, Adam, and he gave Eve because he really value family. So when you see a pastor is really trying to divide a family, just know that it's a false teacher and stay away from his ministry. Yeah. There is no ministry that can take you to heaven. It's your personal relationship with God, and going to church is part of it. So when a church is doing all this, just get out, pray to God, and find another church. Yeah, stay blessed. So another thing is brainwash. They really brainwash you. They brainwash you until they change you to who you are not. They tell you that schooling that you're schooling is not important. That degree is not important. Your children going to better school is not important. What is important is this church. That's lies. That's a lie. We need these schools, we need to go to school, we need to work. So when you see this man is always making you feel like going to school is a sin, then something is so wrong. Just start going out. Another thing, financial financial manipulation. They really manipulate you to give. It's one giving after one giving, and most usually they have categories, and they very huge categories. They tell you yeah, they tell you, they trick you into getting into some sort of covenant. Like they tell you, write this amount, and then I'm going to pray, God is going to bring this money, and any money that comes in your pocket, then just rush and bring it to church because I've prayed, and then the rest you can do. So you rush in that euphoria, you rush, you write, then that money doesn't come. You only have your salary. It tells you, hey, you've entered in a covenant. So you give everything you have. Maybe you wrote 20 and your salary is 30K. You remain with 10K. That's a thief. That's a thief. And you should not allow a pastor to treat you that way. Just get out. There is no special church. Yeah. Another thing is people leaving. That when you're in a church and people are always leaving, people are always leaving, and the pastor is always saying, if you leave here, it doesn't matter, but deep down, you know very well it really matters to him. If it didn't really matter, I could not be talking about it. So when you see people are always leaving your church, that's a red flag. Even you, I think you need to think of just leaving. Yeah. Another thing is strange Bible translation. They translate Bible, and you are left questioning what you've been taught. Yeah. The Bible tells us we are no longer children to be swayed in with every kind of doctrine. So when you see a man that is coming with this doctrine, another way of interpreting scriptures that you never had ever since you were a baby, then no, that's a false teacher. Yeah, and run away. Yeah. Another thing, you are being overworked. This church, you are always in church. After work, you are in church. You go to church. It's not bad to serve God, but when you see the only thing you are doing until you are tired is church, 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 church. The pastor is really overworking. You don't have time for yourself. You don't have time for your friends. You don't, because God has given us time for everything. Time to serve Him, times to work, time to do our things. Yeah, God is not selfish, and God does not treat us as slave, because He's already liberated us, so He can't imprison us again. Yeah, God is freedom. So when you see you're being overworked, that you don't have time for you, just get out of that church. It's not a church. No holiday. Christmas, you are in church the whole day when you're supposed to celebrate Jesus. Yeah. During Christmas, you are in church. Happy New Year, you are in church. Madaraka Day, any celebration, the man of God, make sure you don't get time with your. That's a false church. Just get out. Nothing will happen to you. After this, the heavy fathering, everything you have to do, the man of God has to be noticed. You are traveling to the village, you have to tell the man of God. You want to get a car, you are telling the man of God. When you see there is heavy fathering, he wants to be more than your father, then something is awful. Run away. So with these few remarks, I hope you will get enlightened and run away from a false church, that no one will enslave you. So after this, I'll be bringing a teaching on how to get out of a false church. Stay blessed, and may God bless you. Maybe tomorrow or the day God will lay it in my heart, I'm going to show you on how to get out of a false church. If I got out of a false church before it was late, yes, you can. Stay blessed, and may God bless you. Be wise. Be wise as a serpent, children of God, that no one should enslave you because of religion. Bye bye.